guys, it's CTilde, and today I want to go over sheer sleeves, sheer blouses, sheer whatever, and recolor. I typically do white, but this time I want to use fur and do black. So I've already dotted out the dots in her shirt and the rim around the edges here, and just prepping it to start coloring. Oh, there we go. So my next step would be actually to fill the whole thing with skin color, because I'm going to build her body first and then I'm going to sheer over it. So I'm going to pick my mid-tone here and just dot it in everywhere. And then I'm just going to go through and color it in like I normally would. I'm not trying to be exactly anatomical here. I don't really know where her arms are, her boobs are, or anything. So I'm just going to kind of outline the edges with this second cue to put on her. And we're just kind of build her up roughly. And then we'll add the sheer to it. So I'm going to use my second to darkest shade here and just kind of go along the outside edges to just kind of give her some semblance of a shape and a body. Do our best here. And whenever I'm doing these, I'm not really trying to make it look as realistic as possible, because I know the sheer is going to end up hiding a lot of what I do. So just kind of outlining the edges that they've given us in this this second to darkest shade. And I'm just doing it until I feel it's right. Again, I've done it before, so I kind of know what I'm going for. But I'm going to do her boobs here, so I'm going to small dot in the middle, bring it out, dot, dot, dot. And that's the beginnings of boobage. I want to bring out her collarbone without making that white line there to make it so obvious. So I'm just going to bring in some dark underneath where it would be, so it just kind of brings itself out. Again, I'm just trying to follow where I think skin tone would be, not necessarily where the sheer would be just yet. Then I'm going to go through with the darkest color again and just, go over it again just to give it a more blended, built-on effect, which helps make it look more real. And I do apologize. I recorded this video with, what I thought was sounds, but it didn't have sound. So I'm doing a voiceover right now. So I'm hoping I can keep up with myself, because I don't want to do it again. Good Lord, I'm tired of doing the same video twice. So with that dark shade, I went down to her where her cleavage, would be. And I dark dotted it, zoomed out, dark dotted it, zoomed out, dark dotted it. So it's not this obvious line of cleavage. And I'm just going through and kind of building up color. And then I'm going to take the lightest color here and highlight where the light's hitting her, / wherever the sheer is actually touching her skin is going to have the most skin tone in it. So at her shoulders, I assume, where her cleavage is, and probably some in her collarbone as well. And again, I'm not going for perfection, because my sheer is going to hide all the crap that I did wrong. And then just me more nitpicking of where I want more color in. So again, just keep in mind when it comes to sheer, whatever is actually touching her skin or closest to her skin will have the lightest shade / her skin tone showing through. More nitpicking. It's not my fault. I had a kidney stone. So I'm on some medicine right now, because that's terrible. But now to begin with the sheerness, my first step is to outline all the edges in my sheer color, which now is black. Typically it's white, but you can do this with any color. You can make a sheer tone top or whatever in any color. So I'm highlighting the edges. I'm going to go to the sides here, where I think, the sides of her boobs are. So this black is not only, showing where, showing the outlines of the sheerness, but it's also showing where the shade is as well. But yeah, this is our first happy step, is to kind of black outlines, light around everywhere where I think the sheer, you know, where you would see the black of the sheer fabric. And then just building around her boobs again, because that's, you know, a lot of depth there in her cleavage, so it's gonna get more black. And it's just a slow build, really. You're just going through and figuring out where her skin is touching the sheer to keep it the lightest, and where the sheer is away from her body, so it's going to be the darkest. And this is kind of where you would build up some resemblance of an actual arm or something. And sometimes you'll find that you've put the arm too high or the boobs too high, and you just kind of learn, you know, zoom out and look at what you've done and go back in and fix it and zoom back out. I'm an in and outer all day long with any of my recolorings. But for me with this, it's a lot of blotting. You can't really tell how I'm doing it, but I am just blot, dot, 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 blot, 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 however you want to call it, around. So I'm trying to pick up under where her collarbone would be to darken it, because, you know, it's not, her collarbone's touching the sheer fabric, not underneath it, at least for this model. Every body is different. And then, yeah, this picture in itself, after I'm done with this sheer aspect, is not Recolor appropriate. It's just not. So at some point, to post it on Recolor, I am going to have to give her an undershirt or a bra or something under there, because of right now, even with those dots, it's looking pretty close to pornographic, you know? Like suddenly you're like, is that a nipple? It's not. Okay, I'm not trying to draw nipples. I have no interest in drawing nipples. I don't think Recolor would appreciate it. They would take it down in 3 seconds, you know? It is an adult coloring app, but, you know, it has to meet, you know, Google Play Store and the App Store's, you know, requirements, because it's still going to be downloaded and looked at by children, obviously. So let's keep it appropriate, people. But yeah, it's me going through and just overthinking really where this fabric is going to be away from her body and where it's going to be the closest to her body. So it's just going through nitpicking and basically just following the same thing that I laid down for the skin tone and just kind of blacking it out. It's good to have that skin tone underneath, so it builds upon itself instead of just going through and just putting black everywhere. Otherwise she'll start looking black and white, and you want her to look skin toned, I'm sure, but black and white's fine. And then I did the same thing with the sleeve. So it's really just a lot of nitpicking and deciding where this sheerness should go. And I'm sure a lot of you have already done this a lot better than I've done it right now. But this is a fun one to do. It's fun to make them sheer. I like doing it. I showed you the examples in the beginning here of a few of them that I've done sheer. The girl in the blue with the big hair is actually the first sheer one I did. You know, I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it work. And it took forever to figure out how to do it, but I did it. And I'm happy about that. And so many people do it so well. I would like to know how they approach it. But for me, the best way is to lay down that skin color first and then build the sheer on top of it. I know I wonder what I was saying here. Maybe it was interesting, and maybe that's why I felt the need to just show you over and over and over again what I'm doing. But I'm assuming, you know, right here is the side of her boob, basically. So it's not going to catch that much light, and even if it is just strapped close to her boob, you know, I'm just trying to show some definition here. But sheer is a lot of fun. It gives it a cool effect, and I think it's something everybody can do. It's not reserved for people who are just like ungodly talented. Anyone could make this happen, you know? And the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And again, like I've said in other videos, the more you get used to Recolor and how big of a dot your finger is going to make, you know? So I've gotten very used to where to zoom out and zoom in of what size I want. But yeah, just make sure, again, maybe I've said it 100 times already, what her skin is actually touching. Her skin is actually touching that fabric, then it's going to show the most skin tone through it. And it's just up to you how you do it, of how true that skin tone is. You know, if it's a little bit more blackish or if it's true skin tone. You know, you can do degrees of sheer, I guess. But this one's pretty sheer, you know. And she looks pretty good. I think it's a cute picture. But yeah, eventually I do have another video coming up of Wit building upon putting a bra on her. More and more nitpicking. Just so much nitpicking. So much. And you know, and using that base skin tone is what I'm using to bring back in that skin tone, you know. Just if I feel like I messed up somewhere or if I deformed her body in some way. But yeah, this is what it's looking like after I'm done. Basically, I feel done with the sheer. So this is not recolor appropriate. So I put a bra in using this solid tone. Just humped and humped, you know, and then filled it in with a solid crown. And then brought the line up, you know, along her to show that, you know, there's like a bra strap or an undershirt strap or whatever we're going for here. But then to bring out that sleeve, I actually used the skin tone to highlight her sleeve so you can kind of see it. I think I get to that in a second. But yeah, I'm just kind of building around the bra a little bit to show that it is attached to the whole shebang here. And then obviously I'm nitpicking some more. But yeah, I used that medium skin tone and just traced along the edge of her sleeve just so it pops a little bit more. And then I feel like it might look good to kind of do that to her, the edges of her shirt to give that edged lighting effect. Again, this doesn't work for every picture, and it's just, we'll see. I think I did a line in here that I was not impressed with. But just bringing it around slightly, you know, just to where I feel is good. There's no like thought like this is exactly where it needs to be. But yeah, do you see how it kind of brought out her shoulder a little bit more? So it worked in that instance. Then I'm going to try and bring it up, you know, around her her neck and shoulder area here. Whoops. There you go. Oh, there's a dot in the way. That's why I'm having so much problems. And then I'm going to do it to the other side too as well. And I think, I mean, it's probably just as lazy, but do you see not a black background? Are we proud of me? Yeah. So I'm trying to give it a look on this side. Zoom out. I didn't like that much, so I took it away and felt like it probably should be more around the ball of her shoulder here, the rounded portion. And as you can see, even for me, staining the lines is hard sometimes, but you get used to Recolor. It looks nice. So yeah, I'm not too mad at this. I don't want to overdo it, so I'm not going to like do the insides of her shirt or anything. So I'm just going to leave some subtleties around the edges. But that right side shoulder, right up there by her neck, I don't like that. Let's see. I'm just going to kind of black it out because it didn't look right to me. Yeah, I like seeing how other people do sheer. Everyone does such a cool job, you know? I think everyone should try to do this. No one on Recolor owns a style of coloring, so if you see something cool, then try it, you know? That's what it is. It's a Recolor app, so make it your own. Have fun. But it looks good, so I'm going to show you the before the bra and the after bra. And again, without the bra, I'm not going to post that on Recolor because they will rip it down. you can still get a Recolor picture removed if you add anything against their rules. So be careful. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Putting all that work into something that you know will get pulled, don't do it. But here we are. Here's the finished effect.